Sancho, he's had 2 years here. I feel like the excuses are gone now. This is kind of his make or break year. I feel like other Man United fans have been actually pretty patient with him. Let's be real. I feel like Ten Hag has also managed the situation well. We're all forgetting like a few months ago, he had the mental health break and stuff like that. Managed it well, let him come back when he was ready. But this season, this is kind of like, right, Sancho, make your claim this season and tell Ten Hag why you should be in the squad. Because for me, right, Anthony, me and Rants were even saying last week, Flawless, Anthony's his golden boy in terms of his £100 million signing. But Anthony needs to step up. Otherwise, Ten Hag's going to be like, Anthony, do you know what? You're maybe not cutting it. But if Anthony's not fully performing to his level that Ten Hag wants yet, this is Sancho's kind of chance to dive into that right wing role because he was playing there towards the end of the season, and I was like, "Yeah, do you know what? I like."
He was playing well there as well.
Yeah, bro, last pre-season, Sancho was cooking there with Rashford on the left and Martial up top. I feel like Sancho needs to try and make this right wing position his, because Anthony and Ahmad are going to try and stay there. But if Sancho doesn't this year, I don't feel like there's anywhere for him to go because Garnacho is going to be on the left-hand side of Rashford, and we know that the style they are in terms of the pace and sort of that power and the athleticism to get past the man and cut in and do all that. That's more suited to the Premier League, whether people like it or not. The Sancho tippy-tappy stuff in the movement.
We have to wait and see, though, if the manager's going to try use him more centrally. Because
if he does, but I don't think physically. I think brain-wise, he's got a great brain, but physically, I don't feel Sancho can do that.
I don't think it's a hard physical job to play in the middle if the system around.
Are you on about number 9 or 10? Where we was playing 10 towards the end.
I'm saying false. If he's a false 9, I can see him there. I'm
saying both. I'm saying you could easily use him in some, like, bro, the way you used him today, you could use him in that Firmino role sometimes. Do you know what I'm saying? But and you can.
Rants, I feel like you're gonna come on here and you'll play Sheffield United. And you're gonna be like, the Sheffield United man bullied him.
No. Because, bro, like, the thing is, like, when you play in that false 9, you're not really touch tight to anyone. You're a floater, like that. So it's not really a physical game, bro. Do you know what I mean? When people talk about
the best bit for me though, Rants, you look at Martial, he's physical. You look at Kane when they come in physical. Jesus can hold off a man physical. Firmino can do that.
Hey, Jesus ain't physical, bro. Like,
no, but he's got the
Jesus stays on the floor, blood. What are you talking about,
bro? Jesus has got the fight in him. Come on, man. He has.
Yeah, bruv. The Brer spends most of the game on the floor, blood. Factually,
I think it's one of them. If you are a false 9, you need a level of physicality, but because you're not playing as a out number 9, you don't need to. I think Sancho's smart enough to be able to play that role. That's the only place I see him being successful here. Out wide, forget about it. With Rashford and Garnacho on one side,
bro.
Okay, what?
So are you man saying then if Sancho's to succeed at Man United, do you two think it's down the middle more than out wide?
It has to be.
No, I don't. I don't. I think he can succeed anyway. Yeah. My thing is, you know what's weird, yeah. Like, bro, when you think about it, man's first season, was arguably in Manchester United's worst season that we can remember in God knows how long. It's unfortunate, bro. Not just for him, for anyone. Imagine coming through and you got Oli and Ranić, blood, like, and bro, like in your first season, bro, like, you know what I mean? When man are saying, he's had 2 seasons, that first season, nobody weren't doing nothing.
No one did anything.
No one weren't doing nothing that season, bro. Yeah. And it's like everyone's talking about, but it's 2 seasons. No, bruv. That first season was a write-off for everyone, blood. But everyone's using that season as a season to judge him on, bro. Based on what? Who did anything, bro?
Yeah, and that's a fair assessment. The thing is, I look back at this season just gone, and it's kind of like you and everybody else improved. We watched everybody, even players we had wrote off like Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Whether you think he's good enough or he's not, we've seen a step of improvement. And when I talk about Sancho, it's not Sancho not being good enough to play out wide. I'm talking about chances. Rashford's going to play. Stylistically, number 1, because of how Ten Hag is going to play. 2 things is Rashford's going to play left, Anthony's going to play right. We're going to play with 2 8s. Both Bruno and Mount are going to play. The only place he can play and get consistent game time and actually turn around his form is through the middle. So say we do, we'll probably sign a striker. And if we do sign a striker, that makes it even tougher. But say it's Højlund and the striker doesn't hit form and doesn't hit the ground running. Him as a false 9, to me, I've said this before, I can only see him succeeding here centrally because it's the only place where pace and power is not a necessity. Why do you need
this? Is facts as well. This is what I think. When we played the 4-2-2, like Sancho was actually playing well for Ranić. That's what's funny, bro. Like there was a spell when we were playing that 4-2-2, and he was playing well. And this is what I'm saying, bro. Like, it's one of them ones where when you look at it, yeah, it's because it was such an up and down season for everyone. I feel like it's unfair, yeah, to look at his season and not look at everyone else's. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. I hear you.
That was a class season.
I'm watching Anthony. Like, I hear you because I'm watching Anthony this season. And last year, I was even open about it. I was watching Rashford as in when he performed last season because I was thinking, you know what, is it time maybe he's going to get moved on? But I disagree with Flawless because I think Sancho on the right, in terms of him and his attributes, when he's played on the right, it enables him to use his brain more because he's good at linking up with these little 1-2s, coming in with Bruno or Martial like we saw in pre-season, doing a little, using his brain and positioning. But I feel like when he's on the right, he doesn't also need to go on the outside. When you look at wingers now in the Premier League, a lot of the ones that are successful, like the Salahs, the Manes, the Rashford, the Sons, they're not, the most in terms of their brain intelligence, but in terms of like Set Maximum, for example, their drive to get past the man, they've been really successful.
Physicality.
Because Sancho's a right footer on the right hand side, he doesn't. No one really goes down outside on their right.
He plays as a 10 when he plays on the right.
Yeah, he plays as kind of like an intricate 10, and he comes inside and uses his movements to kind of get past players. So for me, the best of Sancho, I think, has been on the right hand side.
It has been,
and I don't think it's been that great.
And I hear that, Ty, and I hear what you're saying, but we know he's not getting game time out there. If Anthony's fit and Sancho's fit, because he's good, because we know. So, who do you think Ten Hag's going to play mostly there, Sancho or Anthony?
I think he can displace Anthony eventually.
No, he can't. I'm not saying he can't because I'm not talking about the levels of the two players.
It's going to be Anthony. What I said was,
I said opportunity-wise, we know who Ten Hag prefers. Sancho is not going to get a run of games there to dislodge him, in my opinion. He's not. He's not going to get 3, 4, 5 games.
It's a fair assessment.
And he's not locked in though. I think after
Anthony, how many times did we see last season when Anthony was fit and available, he didn't play? How often was Anthony on the bench?
We actually played a lot. No, we did play a lot.
This is my point that I'm making is I'm not saying Sancho's not good because I rate Sancho as a talent. The point I'm making is he's not going to get 4, 5, 6 games to dislodge him. He has to go there and then go and play 8, 9, 10 out of 10. I do not see this happening, especially adding in the way we're trying to play. We're talking about Sancho being a link player. Look at the players around him. The two players who are going to be next to him are going to be Mount and Bruno. They are not foils for him. Wan-Bissaka is looking like he's going to be a right back if we don't indeed sign a right back.
Even Sancho and Wan-Bissaka, in terms of the right-hand side combination, them two, even despite Anthony starting, I feel like Sancho and Wan-Bissaka had the best combination. And by the way, I agree with you that he's not going to get a run of games. But that's not because me and you're in sync, because it's not like he's not going to get a run of the games because he don't deserve it.
Yeah, it's not a question of deserving.
He's only not going to get a run of games because Ten Hag doesn't want to admit his £100 million player is not playing great.
That's the guy he's going to go. That's the guy he's going to go with. And man mentioned it here, Anthony on the bench against Manchester City at home, and that was a tactical decision, which I understand. Bruno played out wide.
Bruno played on the right,
and which makes sense. I understand that in big games, Bruno playing wide right, or whether Mount plays there if you're going to have less of the ball. The point that I'm making
doesn't that annoy you then? Okay, as a Man United fan, then if we're saying that we think Sancho is actually best on the right, but you're saying down the middle because of opportunities, don't it annoy us as a Man United fan though that he won't play on the right just because it's Ten Hag's £100 million man there?
No. I don't want to see. I've said this before. I don't want to see Sancho in some games. He can do it, but mostly I'm not trying to see Sancho out wide. I think he's better suited with the attributes he has down the middle. As a 10, I said as a 10 initially, but now we signed Mount. It's looking like it's going to be a 6 and 2 8. So I'm glad today from the preseason he's played him as a false 9 because I believe he's good enough to do that. He does not have that directness and the explosiveness and the pace to play out wide, especially in this system, especially in the Premier League. If you are Sancho-like in terms of attributes, and you have to be playing in a supreme system. You got to be playing in a City system. Look at all the players you listed. You mentioned Salah, Mane, Son, Rashford. All these players have the directness and pace. Garnacho, you see it. Like, to be successful, it's a pace and power league. I say it all the time, in particular out wide. So if he's playing as a false 9, I think he's intelligent enough and technically good enough to drop off and play that role. And it is somewhere where, like, so I can see him actually getting in there in regards to holding down the position.
I'm going to be honest with you, man. The way we're speaking about him, and I understand it from all our aspects, I'm worried about him. I'm worried about Sancho. Not because I don't think he's a bad player, but like what Flawless said, I just think stylistically, Rants, I just don't know if he'll ever do what he done in Germany and stuff here at Man United. I just think it's one of them things, unfortunately.
He's not going to do what he did in Germany at Man United, and it's not because it's England. It's because we don't play that football.
We don't play that way.
That's it. We just don't play that way. It's got nothing to do with the league, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, now when people saying there's pace and power league, it's not, bro. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, fam. Like, when I watch what Brighton are doing, when I watch what Man City are doing, this is not pace and power, bro. These are man actually popping, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Man United's footballs are not good, bro. Like,
no. The football's not good.
We need to stop pretending, that like we're playing good football. Like, our best football players are not our most effective players in this team because we don't play good football, bruv. Like, we actually don't. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them things where when you look at our team, I wouldn't say that he can never do that here, but the way we're playing right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a great example. Do you know what I mean? Sancho and what happened to Juan Mata at our club as well. We killed him as well. We killed him, bro.
Because Juan Mata was, obviously, he doesn't have anywhere near even the pace of a Sancho. Because Sancho's not slow. He's just not that quick. But Mata's someone who needs to play central. And you mentioned it there.
Killed Mata, blood. We're playing him, bruv. Moyes was playing him right, in a 4-4-2, blood, like a wide right, blood, and it's like, bro, like, it's crazy.
But in terms of it, like you mentioned there, in the pace and power thing, in regards to Manchester City, they're the exception to the rule. They're an exceptional manager, exceptional team. Them man were favourites for a treble. Take their style out of it. When you look at Arsenal, Martinelli can shift, Saka can shift, Jesus can shift. When you look at Newcastle, it's Almiron, it's Callum Wilson, it's St. Maximum. All these men are runners. All these men can shift. Like,
even Murphy can run.
Even Murphy, like, these men can all run. The likes of Joe Willock. All these men can run in regards to that. Take City out of it. When you look at the teams who finished top 4, throw Liverpool in the mix. You got Diaz who can run. Salah.
They're all runners, bro. They are all runners. They all runners. You know what it is, but not everyone has to be runners, and that's why I say if you've got someone like a Sancho, as long as there's runners around him, because people don't understand how good his passing is, bro. Like, his weight of pass and everything is brilliant. That's why I'm telling you, if he's got runners around him, he can play in that central area, bro. He can play there because he needs runners off him. But that's what I'm saying.
He makes
bro. Like, there was one time today where he came short and he received the ball, little half turn, spun out, opened the pitch up, bro, and then he slides passes through. This is what he does. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you look at his actual skill set, like someone said, the Thomas Muller role, like, if you look at his skill set, you either put him in that 10 position. I like him on the inside right. When people saying they're worried about Sancho, bruv, I'm only more worried about him, because of more so who the manager is, bro. Because I'm more worried about Anthony, bruv. Because Anthony costs more money than him, and I never see Anthony scoring goals for us, bro.